A Dead Secret. Yakumo Koizumi Lafcadio Hearn. Translated by Meizo Togawa. Once upon a time, there lived a rich merchant named Inamureya Jensuk in the country of Tanba. He had a daughter named Osono. Jensuk regretted that his daughter should be brought up only by the education of a country teacher, so he sent her to Kyoto with a trusted follower to train her in the refined arts that the ladies of the capital were accustomed to. After receiving this education, Osono was married off to a merchant named Nadareya, an acquaintance of her father's family, and lived happily with him for almost 4 years. They had one child together, a boy. However, 4 years after their marriage, Osono became ill and died. On the night of the funeral, her little son told her that his mother had come home and was upstairs in her room. Osono looked at the child and smiled, but did not speak. The child became frightened and ran away. When each member of the family went to the room on the second floor where the child had been, they were surprised to see the image of the dead mother by the light of a small lamp in front of the tablets in the room. She was standing in front of a chest of drawers, which still contained her ornaments and clothes. Her head and shoulders were clearly visible, but from the waist down, her figure was gradually fading and disappearing, as if it were an indistinct reflection of herself, as transparent as a shadow on the surface of water. The people were so frightened that they left the room, and when they all gathered downstairs to discuss the situation, Osono's husband's mother said, "Women are fond of their own trinkets," and Osono was also obsessed with her own. Perhaps she had come back to see them. There are many dead people who do such things. They say that their goods have not been given to their Buddhist temples. If Osono's books and obi were also given to the temple, perhaps her soul would be relieved. The next morning, the drawers were emptied and all of Osono's ornaments and garments were taken to the temple. However, Osono returned the next night and continued to look at the chests as before. The next night, and the night after that, and the night after that, and every night after that, the house became a house of horrors. Osono's husband's mother went to a Buddhist temple and told the head priest about the ghosts and asked for advice. The temple was a Zen temple, and the abbot was a learned old man known as the monk Daigen. The monk said, "It must be something in or near the chest that is bothering the woman." The old woman replied, "But we have emptied the drawer, so there is nothing more in the chest." Daigen said, "Very well, I will go up to your house tonight, keep watch in your room, and see what I can do. Please order that no one enter the room where I am guarding except when I am called." After sunset, Daigen went to the house and found the room prepared for him. He sat there alone, reading sutras. But nothing came to him until the child's time had passed. But when that time passed, Osono's figure suddenly appeared in front of the chest. Her face was anxious and her eyes were fixed on the chest. The monk recited the scripture that he was supposed to recite in such cases, and then addressed the figure, calling out Osono's Buddhist name, "I am here to help you, my dear. There must be something in that chest that you are rightly concerned about. Shall I find it for you?" The shadow moved his head slightly and looked as if he agreed. The monk got up and opened the top drawer, but it was empty. Then he opened the second, third, and fourth drawers, looking carefully behind and under the drawers, and examined the inside of the box. But there was nothing. But Osono was still staring at him as before, as if to say, "What do you want me to do? What does she want me to do?" The monk thought. But then he suddenly realized something. He wondered if there might be something hidden under the paper covering the inside of the drawer. So he peeled off the paper covering the first drawer, but there was nothing there. I removed the stickers from the second and third drawers, still nothing. But then I found something under the label on the bottom drawer, a letter. "Is this what has been troubling you?" asked the monk. The woman's shadow turned toward him, her powerless gaze fixed on the letter. "Shall I burn it down for you?" the monk asked. The figure of Osono bowed before the monk. "I will burn it at the temple immediately this morning, and no one but me will read it," the monk promised. The figure smiled and disappeared. When the monk came down the ladder, it was almost dawn, and the family was waiting anxiously below. "Don't worry," the monk said to them, "your shadow will never appear again." But the shadow of Osono never appeared. The letter was burned. The letter was an amorous letter that Osono had received while she was training in Kyoto. However, only the monk knew what was written in the letter, and the secret was buried with him.